Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today's video is sponsored by Top Deck, and we'll take a look at them after round one. So I was reading an MTG Goldfish article a couple days ago, and I came across this crazy deck list from the most recent 5.0 deck list dump. I want to say it was Rikumaru was the person who put up the finish with it. And this deck list is wild. So Hero of Bladehold was this just like absolute bomb of a bomb when I first started playing Magic. A 3/4 that when it attacks, you get 2 white soldier creature tokens, and it also has Battle Cry. When it attacks, each other attacking creature also gets +1/+0 until end of turn. And that's a pretty sweet combination that racks up a lot of damage. And then, a couple of years later, they printed a cat version of Hero of the Bladehold. Okay, all right, well, like, maybe they took away the battle cry part, because that was kind of plain specific. But, like, we got a cat version. And then recently, Adeline Resplendent Cathar got printed, which is a star 4 vigilant white creature. Powers equal to the number of creatures you control. Hmm. Okay, we get the idea. Yeah. And whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. Okay, like we're only going to have one opponent in a game of Legacy, but this thing, in theory, can grow its power by 1 every turn. The idea here is that we kind of have this like pseudo hate bears shell with Thalia Heretic Cathar, regular old Thalia, and another cat friend. And we're going to kind of use those to support it to the point where we can get to casting these 4-drops and take over the game. We also have Paladin Class here. Spells your opponent's cast during your turn cost 1 more to cast. Then you can get an Anthem effect for your creatures once you pay 3 mana. And after that, when you pay 5 mana, whenever you attack until end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature, and double strike to boot. So I am not sure if we actually have enough mana to do the things that we want to do consistently, but if we do, this is going to be a lot of fun for me, mostly for me. I made very minimal changes to this deck list. There was a the outpost thing that makes you sacrifice a land and it can make soldiers. I just didn't think that was playable in a wasteland format. You old folks who have been playing since like the Cold Snap Ice Age days, you'll yell at me in the comments for what the actual name of that card is. And I made a couple of small adjustments to the sideboard. The sideboard had the 6 mana Elspeth, which I didn't think was just like super reasonable to cast, and I kind of felt like the sideboard was a little light on interaction versus combo. So I added in 2 Deafening Silence. I still don't know that we're fantastic versus something like Doomsday, but hopefully Leonin Arbiter and the Sanctum Prelates can do some lifting on that front in order to kind of make things reasonable there. Otherwise, we have a full play set of Source of Plowshares for things like the Delver matchup. We've got a couple of Katakis for some Urza Sagas and things like that. And overall, I just think this is going to be a fun league, which is why I chose this for my Dealer's Choice League via my sponsor. All right, if you're new here, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content on the regular. And if you are a regular, please throw me a like before we get started. It is the easiest way to support my content for free. Let's battle. Okay, my opening hand has a couple of Cavernous Souls, but my first play is on turn 3. I don't think this is kind of going to win any games here. Yeah, this is a much better hand. I will keep this. And now the question is, do I throw back? I'm playing Thalia Heretic Cathar on turn 2. I want to play Paladin Class on turn 1. I think I want to keep my Curve of Paladin Class into Thalia into Hero of Bladehold. I think that's where I'm at. Oh no. We do not have a strong hand against whatever this is. This is just life, isn't it? I talk about... Oh, okay. Yep. Well. Cool. Alright, so there's the Thassa's Oracle. Where is the Dread Return so that I can concede? There's the Dread Return. I can go ahead and concede here. Alright. GG's. I will board in my 3 ley lines. Suppose my Deafening Silence has some text. My Containment Priest has some text. Ataki is not crazy. My opponent will play out artifact mana. I'll see where we're at with that. Solitude is probably not super necessary most of the time. I think that can go. I don't need to grind via Court of Grace. Yeah, honestly, I can probably cut like 4 of the top end cards pretty easily. Because I can kill my opponent with a potato if I stop them from going off. Cut 4 Leonin War Leader. A hero as well. Still at 28 creatures. Sort this by mana value real quick. A lot of these are like crappy 2/2s though. I probably need to keep some bulk in here. I don't know, maybe this counts as bulk. Or maybe I cut one of these and keep the heroes in. Alright, I have a ley line. We keep. Alright, my opponent has taken a mulligan. Alright, they've kept on 6. I'll take my ley line. And I will play a Paladin Class. So my opponent started to pay costs on something free, but then I think they realized that the Paladin Class stopped them from doing anything. So now that I suspect that they have a Force of Vigor, I'm going to go ahead and play an uncounterable Thalia here to try to protect this ley line. Put this on human, and I'll do this thing. So now my opponent's Force of Vigor costs 2 more, and I've probably just completely wiped them out of playing that. Okay, yeah, there's a concession. I don't think I really want to change anything on the draw. I think I've just got what I've got here. So if my opponent did have a Force of Vigor, then they just needed to do it before the Paladin Class, and then I might have lost that game. I mean, I've got a ley line and a Paladin Class again. I just keep, right? My opponent has also taken a mulligan. All right, my opponent kept on 6. All right. Got a Lotus Petal. And another one. Okay. Three of a Kind is pretty good. Kataki. Ah, okay. I don't think I need to imprint yet. I think I will just go land into Paladin Class here. Okay, that is Force of Vigor, pitching, Wild Cantor. Alright, so now we just have to see if my opponent can go off. They couldn't go off on turn 1, but they could still have, like, a 3 or 4 mana card that allows them to go off. They do not. I'm going to try to avoid using this cavern. I'm not worried about counter spells here. This is legendary. I will play a Skyclave Apparition and just take a Lotus Petal with it. We're very much at the mercy of my opponent's deck here. Okay, there's another land. Ancient Tomb. How much is this? It's 3 to do. Okay. Alright, so I'll play a land. I'll bash in. Put my opponent to 18. And drop this. I have a very respectable clock now. I probably have my opponent dead in 2 turns, but again, my opponent has 8 draws that just instantly kill me. Okay, yeah. Cabal Therapy is good. For me. I'm good with it. Okay, yeah. Fairy is a reasonable name. Okay. Arbiter technically has text, I guess. Also just something I can play. I will make a cat. I will buff my creatures. I will send in. Yield to that. That's a lot of power. Yeah, my opponent is dead next turn to this. So I just have to dodge this draw. And I dodged that draw. Whew! Alright, we are on board. Okay, I mean, this thing got big quick. This video is sponsored in part by TopDecked, a sort of a companion app / website for Magic the Gathering. Today I'm going to quickly highlight the search feature. You can reach this by going to the magnifying glass that's in the top right corner of the site, and you can type in any card here. I've picked Risen Reef, and if you're under decks, you can just find a deck that has this. And the cool thing about this search feature is that you can plug in multiple cards to get data. So if you're playing against like one of my crazy brews, for example, you can start typing in the cards that I'm playing and try to find the deck that you're looking for. Consider checking this out. All right, I've kept my opening hand for round 2 here. I don't have a turn 1 play or anything, but I do have a Solitude for initial interaction versus my opponent's stuff. My Arbiter will be nice here. I'll keep my opponent from doing Urza Saga shenanigans, at least the tutoring portion. Let's just lead on plains so I can't get wastelanded. I'm expecting to see an ancient tomb here, given that my opponent kept a hand that looks like this. Yeah, okay. That's basically ancient tomb. Am I playing this on cat? I don't think I am. I have such huge... How you feel from ThrabenU? Yep. I think I'm just gonna play another basic here and stop my opponent from doing the search. Alright, good stuff. Alright, you do the Urza Saga thing. Okay, so they're going to pay and ignore the search effect. That's fine. So my opponent could just get like a mana source here. I can get rid of their construct pretty easily. I kind of thought they were going to go for double constructs rather than search. Okay, yeah, they require colored mana. Black? Oh! We're playing against some sort of curse variant. That's fine. Alright, so my opponent attacks in. How do I feel about this? I think I just want to Skyclave Apparition away this Chrome Mox. I think I'm going to take 2, just so I can kind of, like, wait and make decisions about, like, what card I pitch to a Solitude later. I'm just not 100% sure yet. Yeah, alright, I'm down to 18. Didn't draw another white card. Arbiter Cat, get in there. Opponent's at 18. I'm gonna go Plains, Skyclave Apparition. And honestly, at this point, I could also just consider hardcasting Solitude next turn. I don't think you actually have anything at a single black mana. Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know. I can also just junk the Thalia if it becomes relevant. I also just turned this thing back into a 1/1, so like there's that. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Losing that that land is rough. Ooh, a dark ritual. So this can now represent a curse of misfortunes. Oh, this can now represent a lot of things. Okay. I can sacrifice some creatures. I'm not worried about that. I will play like Hero of Bladehold and then just deal with that. Okay. And just junk this. I will give you a 0/0 illusion creature token. Okay. Let's put this on human, which doesn't even hit the list because I have so many creature types here. We're gonna give him an old winky face in chat. And crash in with 2/2 Leonin Arbiter. Down to 16. Okay, opponent needed a soul land there in order to do something impressive. Alright, so I will now sacrifice this cat. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana available. I think I would like to double creature here. I am going to play Thalia Heretic Cathar. Then do I want to play Skyclave Apparition? No, I just want to play Thalia Guardian of Thraben. I just want to have both my ladies in play. I don't have to worry about opposition agent. So I will make my 2 creature tokens. Then Battle Cry occurs, making them larger. Oh, yeah. Okay. Opponent's down to 11. I have succeeded in, like, just fucking ignoring a cruel reality. With Thalia Heretic Cathar in play, my opponent can't just go, like, land into Curse of Misfortunes now, and Thalia Guardian of Thraben also does that. Eat your heart out, cruel reality. The 7 mana enchantment was not good enough. So I need to be thinking about Plague Engineers and, like, opposition agents as things that can just jump in front of my creatures. I like the, like, Court of Grace, Elspeth sorts of cards here. I'm probably going to board in some amount of this stuff, and Hataki for artifact mana is not crazy, but probably is not good enough. Like, my opponent and I are both going to have Chrome Mox. So I think that's going to end up being kind of a wash. What don't I want? Magnum Paladin 5 is fine. Honestly, most of my cards are fine. I don't know that I need Paladin Class. The Anthem's fine, but, like, this thing just sitting on the battlefield by it... Well, actually, the Anthem plays around Plague Engineer a bit, doesn't it? Then I'm going to go Solitudes out and start with this. I think Skyclave is a little bit medium. Like, it getting rid of Chrome Mox is kind of the best thing that it is going to do in a lot of cases, but it can also, I guess, get rid of Plague Engineer. Maybe I'll just start by boarding in one source of Plowshares and see how it feels, and then go up more if I feel like I need to. I don't really like this hand. It just has 5 mana sources, 2 of which cause me to have card disadvantage. I don't think I'm on board with this. This second hand is slow. Is this good enough to keep? My opponent has gone to 5. When my opponent goes to 5, is this hand fine? It might be. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep this rather than risk ending up with a non-functional hand. They just get to play Adeline plus Paladin Class. That spirals out of control and plays around Plague Engineer already. Plus, I'll have a decent number of top decks to either accelerate this out 1 turn earlier, or is this Hagra Mauling? Yeah. Anyway, to accelerate it out a turn early, or just like find a hate bear that's relevant. Paladin Class is essentially a safety net here rather than a plan in and of itself. Oh my god, Ancient Tomb. Just fucking chef's kiss, man. Absolute chef's kiss. Super happy with that draw. Now my opponent doesn't get to ambush me in combat with things like Plague Engineer, and it's going to slow down my opponent's like Ancient Tomb type settings and make City of Traders far, far worse. That was a fantastic pickup. Okay, that is a basic swamp. That does not enter tapped. Don't think I want to show the Caracas this turn. I'm just going to go ahead and go land. Back for 3. And I'll go to 17. And... oh, I can even just pay a black here. And I'll play Adeline. Next turn, I'll level up Paladin Class unless I find something else to do. Okay, opponent did not have anything to do with their mana here. Yeah, I will probably just beat a Curse of Misfortunes here. Ooh, baby. There's 3 to do. I absolutely just do this. I guess I'll play this out. I will do this before I do anything else here. Level up. Stuff's bigger. I think I'm at the point where I don't need Skyclave Apparition, and I'd rather just leave up Caracas to bounce my stuff. I believe that is true. Alright, get in here, Thalia. I will attack for 8, and then this happens, making it 10 damage. My opponent is just straight up dead next turn. Absolutely disgusting. And unless they have another basic, they can't even, like, yeah, I play around Plague Engineer here? Holy shit. Is this deck real? Like, I believe we are about to be 2-0. Oop, opponent is doing something. That is a Plague Engineer. That does not beat what I have going on. It also enters tapped. Thalia Heretic Cathar is a hell of a drug. We have gotten the GGs in chat. Yeah, we are starting off strong with this deck. Okay, I believe we have gotten paired against the Curses player again. This hand has an Ancient Doom, but not really anything to do with it. Thalia is okay here. I think I'm going to mulligan this one. This hand is way better. I'm going to keep this. I'll pitch a Cavernous Souls here. And then I will just have a turn 1 Leonin Arbiter followed by a turn 2 Skyclave. Ooh, my opponent might be on a different deck. I don't think I can make this cat uncounterable. Because then it becomes very hard to cast a Skyclave Apparition. That's awkward. Or no, it doesn't. I'll have white. Okay, no, I can do that. So I'm going to Chrome Mox. Pitch the Solitude here. Cat. And I'll play Leonin Arbiter. Now, this may just fetch a basic Swamp, and my opponent may have, like, Fatal Push in their deck. Okay. Looks like that's the case. Oh, nope. Danger. Opponent has started a new league. This is what I get for making some tater tots in between rounds. They were delicious. Thank you for asking. So life's bad. Okay, I'm getting unmasked. I can draw like a Caracas. Pitching the Solitude was definitely correct under the assumption that my opponent was likely on either curses or some sort of combo deck. Yeah, that's rough. Well, actually, I guess like that doesn't matter too much. Caracas. There's 2 of them. That is not a Caracas. I will not get to the mana to cast this. I'm just going to play this as a land. Will not pay the life. Oh, I wonder if maybe I messed up. There's worlds where I'm supposed to hold that, so that if I draw another Solitude, I can pitch cast. This damage here is rough. Like, both in terms of, like, the physical damage to me and my opponent's ability to just draw a bunch more cards. Alright, Ashen Rider and Sarah's Emissary in graveyard. The good news is I have a good number of sideboard cards for this matchup. The bad news, of course, being that I'm probably just dead game 1 here. Yeah. Alright. They have protection from creatures. I am just dead to 14 in the air next turn. I will concede. Alright, so I want Leyline. I probably want Deafening Silence. I need some number of Swords to Plowshare so I can have an out to Sarah's Emissary, and I need Containment Priests. That is 11 cards that I want to bring in. That's a lot. Sword of Grace can go. Skyclave Apparitions can go. One playset of these big idiots can go pretty easily. What about Paladin Class? Probably don't need Paladin Class. This would get me to where I want to get. I could consider playing Elspeth over a Hero of Bladehold, because Hero of Bladehold can be taken and then reanimated. But Hero of Bladehold is so much of a better clock. Yeah, I'll submit like this. It's very possible, though, that I'm supposed to board out a couple more Hero of Bladeholds just because, like, they are so damning if my opponent reanimates one on turn 1 or 2. Especially after I just, like, stick a Leyline. Alright, what does this hand look like? This hand has 2 different Containment Priests. This is a keep. I also have Deafening Silence to minimize turn 1 shenanigans. This is fine with me. Deafening Silence. 3 screamy boys. Okay. Yep. Thoughtseize away. I have redundancy. Oh, I lost the Adeline. Interesting. Okay. Leyline, you are literally just 1 card late to the party there. Okay, sure. Yeah, you can do that. Containment Priest is doing a lot of work here. That is just an Exhume and a Reanimate going to the bin. Here is my Priest. Hero, sure. Now comes the question, like, do I want to try to shut off future fetch lands, or do I want to play redundant Containment Priest? I think I want to shut off future fetch lands, as well as Entombs, technically. If I can help it, I don't want both Containment Priests in play at the same time due to things like Massacre. Yep, that's fine. Like, I don't just want to lose both, but that's a lot of mana. I'm a little surprised 2 Dark Rituals were binned there, because that's something that can reasonably allow my opponent to cast just like a fucking Grizzlebrand. Send him. What's my opponent do 11? Is Hero of Bladehold just lethal next turn? If I put a Containment Priest under? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes. Yeah, I guess I just go for the line that kills my opponent next turn. Yeah. If my Leyline was any other card, I could keep this Containment Priest. But this seems pretty reasonable. Okay, there's a scrub land. Okay, I mean, that's your 1. Alright. Battlecry goes on bottom. I make my 2 creatures. Battlecry happens. It's 1 billion damage. Do you have, like, an Abrupt Decay? You do not. Now, the game on the draw, obviously, is a little bit harder. Hopefully, I'll just open up on a Leyline, and I won't have to think too much about it. Holy shit. Keep. Now, this has double Leyline into turn 1 Deafening Silence. It's a little awkward if I get Thoughtseize and I lose the Chrome Mox. Double Leyline. Let's go. Opponent mulliganed once. Alright, there's a swamp. No Thoughtseize. Nice. A Hero of Bladehold. Don't mind if I do. Grant one of these. Do one of these. Do one of these. Just all in all, good stuff. This is hateful. Hopefully we don't just eat a turn 2 Serenity and get 1, 2, 3, 4 for 1. There is a world where my opponent can just reanimate one of my creatures here. That's a hero going to the bin. Okay, I have a Source of Plowshares to answer a creature if that happens. But unfortunately, this has 2 white pips in it. I can't cast this here. Okay, that is the reanimate on my own creature. I'm very glad I have the Source of Plowshares to answer this very odd problem. Good shit. Opponent gets a little life for their trouble. Alright, ISO white mana. Okay, looks like we're gonna play Drago for a little while. I am more scared of my opponent reanimating Hero of Bladehold, so I'm gonna play Hero of Bladehold first. Adeline spirals out of control as well, but so does Hero of Bladehold. Oh, fantastic. Send in with Hero. Make 2 soldiers, make them bigger. Oh man, I have missed playing with Hero of Bladehold. That card is fucking great. And I'll absolutely just play the Leonin Arbiter to put the squeeze on my opponent's mana. I don't necessarily need to just do this and increase my power. This already might be lethal. Yeah, this is already lethal anyway. We have gotten the GGs in chat. We are up to 3-0 with this deck. I am impressed. My round 4 opening hand is kind of medium here. I don't have a fast start. I have Athalia into either a piece of removal or another threat that will spiral. I think that's good enough to just kind of keep in the dark. I also just have really stable mana that is not going to get wastelanded. There's something to that in a world of Blue-Red Delver. Oh, boy. Oh, okay. This is fine. I'm way less scared now that I know it's not just fucking Doomsday. We're playing against some sort of blue artifact pile. Okay, and Urza Saga. I can Skyclave a token and do some stuff. Okay, they're still going. Oh, and there's more. We haven't... Oh. Okay, so they are floating a mana so that they can maybe cast something like an Emery. And then looking at my hand for information. They need to play another artifact or they've shut off their Mox Opal. A Pithing Needle will work. What would you Pithing Needle if you were the opponent here? Wasteland? Wasteland. Oh, there's more. 2 mana. A Chalice of the Void. Resolves, friend. Resolves. Their Mox Opal is back on now. Land. Thalia, go. Just classic play pattern. We're used to that one. See if my opponent has mana to start making constructs. Constructs are big if they do. Okay, they do. I will Skyclave 1. This means I'm playing Adeline on my turn. Fine. Just plains. Yeah, probably just plains. I could Skyclave Mox Opal. That denies an Urza's Saga token and removes a Mox Opal. That is better than just removing an Urza's Saga token. I don't need to remove this Chalice. Yeah, that's a little weird. It seems correct to me. Alright, remove Mox Opal. The opponent will make a Construct token in response. It's a 4/4, so I don't actually get to attack in this turn cycle. Yeah, I don't know what my opponent's going to have in terms of silver bullets. They might just need some mana here, rather than getting something like a Retrofitter Foundry or a Shadow Spear. I'll obviously find out in just a second. Yeah, they are replacing the Mox Opal. They need mana to function. And I'm also just limiting their mana via Thalia. I'll play like a Sai here that I just get to bounce for free. That'd be cool. Yeah. Okay, I'll take 4 here. That's totally fine. Going to 16. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. This says whenever you attack. Doesn't say with this creature. Huh. I wonder if this works the way I am sort of thinking it might. I'll bounce his Psy out of the way. I'll attack. Oh, hell yeah! Let's get a bonus critter. Opponent goes to 18. I don't think I'm gonna pitch 15 after both sets of damage. I don't think I'm gonna pitch cast this Solitude. I think I'm just gonna hard cast it on my next turn and like keep it around. I also think this is just gonna be held back on the defensive. Opponent is trying to tap 1 mana for something, so either they're about to counter something with a I see, it's my Thalia attacks. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, your Thoughtcast is fine. Oh my god, the construct is attacking? This is insane to me. Yeah, I'll take that hit. I'm at 11. Okay. Sure. Also, I have Karakas and multiple legendary creatures. You're not fucking getting through and finishing me with 1 construct token. Ooh. Yeah, we'll just make this uncounterable. Here comes Solitude. And we're doing this now so I can get 1 extra point of damage in with Adeline. Send them. Make my bonus creature. And I believe opponent will die next turn to this. Opponent goes to 7 here. Adeline itself will be lethal next turn. Minus some sort of ensnaring bridge shenanigans. I think I've got it, yeah. Katakis are great. I don't think I want ley lines. I think I want Swords to Plowshares. And there's some worlds where I can consider some of this stuff. My Leonin Arbiters aren't really potent here. That's going to be the first thing to go on my side. Part of Grace is a little risky versus like size Thopters and such. I think I'm going to cut that. Now, I'm probably going to trim either 1 Paladin Class or 1 4-drop. The Double Strike is kind of useful for breaking stalls. It also just means if my opponent is playing Force of Will effects, I just get to play around those easier. Signet Prelate goes on 0. That stays in the deck. There's also some worlds where I could play Deafening Silence. Deafening Silence is like okay. The issue is that like my opponent vomits most of their hand on turn 1. I might play Deafening Silence when I'm on the play. I don't think it's good enough on the draw. This hand has a turn 1 Thalia Heretic Cathar. There's a Source of Plowshares for an Emery. It has a Sanctum Prelate. It's a little awkward that I have double Ancient Tomb here, but I think I just have to kind of be good with this. All right, there's an LED. That means like Echo is something that is very much a concern. There's a few different artifact blue decks that all kind of look like the same soup, so sometimes it's hard to tell which exact build you're working with. Your Pithing Needle resolves. What would you like to name? Wasteland. Good name. Honestly, though, like, this is probably a 1-of that's in their deck, and they've drawn it both times. All right, what am I doing? I think I'm pitching the Source of Plowshares here. I think I just get a more potent and more hateful line if I play Thalia Heretic Cathar into Sanctum Prelate. Most of my opponent's lands will be non-basics, too. Okay, yep, Thoughtcast away. Tapped Urza Saga. Sure. Yeah, I mean, get those baubles in now. I'm gonna cut off those shenanigans come my turn. Ooh, I think Sanctum Prelate on 0 is better. Guess I can think about it for a second. Do this. Opponent goes down to 17. Neither one of these do anything against the onboard Urza Saga. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with Sanctum Prelate. I think I will just stick with 0. I could also try to stop Echo instead, but I think I like this. Now, opponent can make a construct using Lion's Eye Diamond if they don't have other mana. That's a thing that can occur. Alright, there's another Thoughtcast. Oh, they're not getting an Urza Saga in here. Like a token. That's great for me. Well, I guess they can activate LED. Would my opponent discard 4 cards in order to make a 4/4? Unsure. Probably not. Will I offer them essentially a 5/1? Yeah, absolutely. I will offer them that. Let's send this and see if my opponent goes for that. I doubt it. Alright, yeah. They're gonna go down to 14, then go down to 12. And I will play land into Best Girl. Alright, I've got a lot of hateful stuff in play. My opponent will get to make one large token, and then they can try to use Caracas to, like, bounce this stuff in and out. Oh, okay. So they were not willing to go for it in combat, but now they're willing to go for it end of turn. That's interesting. So, I mean, what my opponent has going on here very well might beat me. Like, they're essentially going to put me on a 2-turn clock. So this is going to be a 7/7 after they search. I don't need to draw a removal spell. Ooh, yeah. That's a scary card. Ooh, they did not attack. That's a removal spell. So I can remove this, give them 7 life, attack them back down to 12. But then they equip Shadow Spear. And things get kind of annoying for me. I think I'm supposed to wait on this Solitude until their turn. It does have Flash. And then whichever one of these gets equipped, I junk it. It means I don't attack this turn, but I think that's fine. I think playing around this Shadow Spear is far more important right now. Alright, there's a bounce. Okay, sure. So there's the equip. And I will just let that happen. I will let them go to combat. Okay. Cast. Do this thing. Junk this one. This brings this down to a 6/6. I probably need to get this body out of the way. I am not happy with what I am doing here. But I think I'm more likely to win if I just clear this crap out. Otherwise, I have to like try to dance around this Shadow Spear all game, which I'm not super good at doing. I think I just do this and then hope to top deck like a Hero of Bladehold or equivalent and take over the game. Or a Kataki would be, well, no, Kataki would be good in a lot of cases. I guess it would be a weird elaborate dance. Alright. Alright. Opponent has some baubles. Opponent can take some cashed in card draws. Something of mine will get to attack next turn. There's Thalia Cathar. Here's me abusing my life total. Playing legendary creatures has a cost. Also, I kind of assume that Caracas is like a 1-of in my opponent's deck. Alright, 2 bauble draws. Opponent right now is probably in the superior position. I think a lot of my top decks are going to be better than their top decks, though. Like, half of their draw 2 effects are already in their graveyard, for example. Okay, we've got something. Okay, they're just bouncing my Thalia, they're playing Psy, sure. And they've got, okay, a Shadow Spear equip. Okay, I mean, that keeps me from attacking. I just want to put Thalia Cathar under a Chromox. She's annoying, and she's keeping this Caracas tied down, but I don't have a way to gain life right now. Yeah. Let's just not take damage off of my Cat of Bladehold thingy. This game could get very weird, by the way. We both have the ability to create a large number of creatures. Urza Saga is horrifying. I also don't know that I have a good answer to that currently. I would like to answer the fucking Shadow Spear, like, very, very, very badly. I mean, I'm going in. Oh, shit, I should have played the... No, I shouldn't have played the Thalia pre-combat. Yeah, this is gonna happen. Yeah, my opponent can gain 2 here. I'm gonna do more damage than that. Notably, these things do lifelink. That is a difference between it and the original Hero of Bladehold. Yep, predictable block is predictable. Ooh. Oh, yeah, okay. That's fine. So, my opponent doesn't lose any life with that block, but I keep 2 tokens. I'm gonna take 2 life here to play out both of these creatures. My opponent will only be able to bounce one of them via Caracas. It's probably my Adeline. I probably need a removal spell to get me over the finish line here. We're just gonna we're gonna main phase make the token and then move the Shadow Spear to it. This sets them up for a major fucking blowout if I top deck a removal spell, though. Torpor Orb. Okay. Highclave Apparition would have been a savage draw if not for that Torpor Orb. Annoying. Expect this to get bounced right here. Oh, it didn't. Interesting. I think I'm not supposed to attack, though. Like, I lose the war leader. War leader? Yeah, I lose the war leader. This gets bounced. I end up with a couple of cats and a little bit of damage. I don't think that's worth it. Behold, my Skyclave apparition that Torpor Orb just ruined. My opponent is majorly pulling ahead right now. So they get a second construct here. They get to Shadow Spear equipped to their first construct so they can gain more life. They might not be able to attack in with that. I just like jump block pretty well. I don't know, once they have two, maybe it doesn't matter much. You can also get like Retrofitter Foundry and start going wide. Oh, Lion's Eye Diamond. 3 mana. Old Breacher. Oh, do you have Echo too? I assume that's what that was for. Yeah. Alright. Those are 14/14 constructs now. My opponent can equip one of them with a Shadow Spear, gain just an absolute butt ton of life. Oh god, another Urza's Saga. I think this is the point where I concede. I guess there's still Kataki. Kataki does a shit ton of metaphorical damage to my opponent. There's a lot of permanence on the other side of the battlefield. Just be my own personal tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. Okay. Yeah. I think it's draw Kataki or I'm literally dead next turn. This is a lot. So that doesn't trigger because of Torpor Orb. That's something I learned in a league recently. I guess I also shouldn't concede. My opponent is down more than 5 minutes of clock from me. Oh, it looks like they've sacrificed a couple treasures to equip this construct. Bounce my friend out of the way. Oh, this tramples now. 23/23. Don't think I have enough to throw in front of the bus here to stay alive. That was a hell of a turn, though. Ow. Okay, I mean we were close to pulling that one in. All right, on the play, I think I'm good with Deafening Silence. Again, the Urza Saga construct tokens are a problem. Skyclave Solitude plus Source of Plowshares is probably enough to deal with that. I think I'm going to junk Paladin Class for Deafening Silence on the draw. I could also see an argument for like playing Elspeth to jump over construct tokens. Actually, yeah, let's do that over one Leonin War Leader. This is turn 2, Thalia Heretic Cathar. Human Soldier. I can't curve that. Well, yeah, I can open myself up to like a Force of Will effect. Regardless, I'm keeping the hand. The hand has a turn 2 Hate Bear and multiple other good threats afterwards. The question is just going to be like, do I want Adeline on turn 3? Or do I want Leonin War Leader? I'm going to play out this Ancient Tomb on turn 1. So that I can defer the decision of like Cavernous Souls versus Plains next turn. I am currently leaning towards Plains. Alright, sure. Play out your stuff. Vox Opal is live. Emery is fine. I can Solitude that away. Ooh. Multiple 1-drops just hit the bin there. Ooh, opponent does not have lands. I would like to play Leonin War Leader next turn. I'm going to go ahead and play Athalia Heretic Cathar. Then I'm going to pitch Adeline to Solitude away that Emery. Goodbye. So if opponent's plan was, I am going to recur this bauble until my opponent is dead, hopefully I have stopped that. Actually, you were a soldier. I could have made you uncounterable. Sorry, I do not know the creature types of Leonin War Leader off the top of my head. I do apologize to all of my cat-centric viewers. Okay, that is a Thought Cast, doing sort of a cool trick here. There is an Urza's Saga. My opponent's mana is super squeezed right now. Alright. Soldier. I should technically do this post-combat, but it doesn't matter here. I'll bash my opponent down to 18. And if my opponent has like a Soul Land or something, it just enters tapped. So While the Urza Saga is not a threat, yeah, the Urza Saga is much less of a threat than it otherwise would be. I get to attack my opponent for half of their life total, and then they're going to make a construct and probably get a Shadow Spear. Nice. Nice. Oh my god. This is a human knight, so I can't actually cast this. Oh, that is unfortunate. That is super unfortunate, because that's the difference between having lethal and not having lethal through that blocker next turn, I think. Oh well. My opponent takes 4, 7, 8, 9, going to 9. And next turn they'll block this, and they'll take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 if I play this. Yeah, those two little soldiers I got. That's... Oh, the Ancient Tomb, though, is how they get this construct in the first place. We may still get this yet. All right, so here's the construct activation. Oh yeah, it enters tapped too. Shit, Thalia Heretic Cathar is so fucking good. Oh yeah, okay, so can you do some sort of insane Echo of Eons line to beat me here? The creatures enter tapped, and I have so much power in play. I don't know exactly how that would work. Because even like the tokens are going to enter play tapped. I don't know, some sort of ensnaring bridge DS. Okay, that's an Echo. I guess they can play towards some sort of bounce spell. Yeah, my hand got considerably better. Presumably theirs did as well. Now I have like a Skyclave. Yeah, after the Saga is not saving you. Yep. I feel like we're 4-0. Oh, yep. You have another Thoughtcast. Okay, that is the concession. We are 4-0, and we are now playing for the trophy. Feels good. I think I'm going to keep this hand, but it is admittedly a little bit light on gas. That's more gas. Okay, what am I doing on turn 1? Am I just playing Paladin Class on turn 1, or am I just going to like play Uncounterable Thalia into Uncounterable Thalia? Well, you know, when you put it like that, I think I play Chrome Mox prior to playing my land. From Paladin Class, Cavern. I'm gonna put it on Human. It doesn't matter much here since I just have a bunch more lands. Okay, we are getting a response from the opponent, which I presume means Brainstorm, because this is Legacy and that's what you do with your mana. Yep, there it is. Tropical Island is not super common right now, so I wonder what we're playing against. I will probably find out this turn cycle. Oh, we're just straight up like playing against like fucking Rug Delver. Wild. Alright. I will bash for 2. Opponent's down to 17. Oh no, it is not Rug Delver. Maybe some sort of 4-color loam sorts of shenanigans. I am playing Caracas. No, I am playing Thalia Heretic Cathar no matter what this turn, so I am not going to show Caracas here. I just don't want to give up that turn of tempo here. Because Thalia Heretic Cathar is infinitely better the earlier it comes down. Like, Thalia Heretic Cathar on turn 1 is absolutely backbreaking. We see that sometimes in Vintage. Alright, there is a Force of Will. That's fine. Pitching Force of Negation. Yeah. It might not be 4-color loam. We might be playing against something closer to Bant. So I'll just try to poke with the Thalia a couple of times. Oh, we are getting a response. All right, yeah, just we're playing against Greed Pile. I'll deal with that next turn. My opponent will block. I'll just bounce this Thalia. I will just play it second main phase. I don't think I need to like sit here and try to defend this thing like super actively from like a prismatic ending or whatever. Because a removal spell is going to hit one of my creatures at some point in this league. I don't care if a removal spell trades 1-for-1 with a Thalia. Yep, there we go. So then I will take 3 in combat. I think I just want to Solitude this on my turn. Doing it now means that my opponent can't just go like land drop into Hardcast Force of Will or something to protect it. And I don't want to play the Skyclave until I have to, because the Skyclave can answer things that the Solitude doesn't. So for example, like a Teferi or another Planeswalker. The thing I don't like about playing against these greed piles is you never know, like, exactly which things your opponent is going to have shoved into here. The Wasteland earlier was kind of a hint that we might end up looking at, like, a Life from the Loam. Okay. Sure. Add like a Life from the Loam package. The good news here is because I have this Caracas, I can deal with an Uro that comes into play. Oh. Yeah, so remember how I was talking about this thing answering Planeswalkers and stuff? This is a great example of exactly that. My Skyclave answers Jace, and I think I just go ahead and tap out to play this second creature here. It exposes this to removal, because I don't have my Caracas held up. But my Caracas is going to be kind of taxed between protecting this and Uro in the future anyway. I mean, Expressive Iteration is the best possible top deck for my opponent in all likelihood. Alright, so they get their land drop. We'll see if they have a removal spell as well. Oh, they have just found a Ponder. I mean, just a Ponder, right? Like, that's more selection. It's obviously quite good. And that's no shuffle, so I presume they found a removal spell. Alright, well, I'm going to combat. I'm not going to play anything pre-combat. Gonna go ahead and send these in. Yield to that. Alright, so you're gonna Swords to Plowshares that. That's okay. You make that token. I knew this was coming. This has flash. I cast my Solitude. Solitude away the token. And my opponent takes 4. I do have potential zombies in the not too distant future. Uro's hanging out in the graveyard as well. There's another Uro. Okay. Opponent gained the life there, but they didn't have a land to put in. Alright, I think I'm comfortable just playing this pre-combat. Alright, it resolves. Oh, that seems like an early concession to me. Like, they still have they have a pair of Uros in the graveyard to draw cards with. They have a Field of the Dead incoming. They take a lot of damage here, but I don't think they're dead 100% of the time. What do I want against this deck? I want my ability to grind via Court of Grace and Elspeth, I think. I also think that since my opponent has, like, Endurances and Uros to worry about and potentially... Well, probably not Ice Waddles. The mana base did not support that in terms of Snowlands. But I probably want these. Honestly, my deck looks pretty reasonable. There's a range of things that Sanctum Prelate doesn't cover just by being on one number. I think I'm going to take those out. I need to cut 4 more cards. I could just cut Paladin Class and just try to stay threat denser. The thing Paladin Class does, though, it makes me much better at attacking into, like, an Endurance, which definitely matters. It also makes combat tricks and counterspells and stuff a little weaker. Gives me something to do if I flood out. Maybe I don't board in all 4 Swords to Plowshares. I don't know. The only reason I probably didn't lose that game is because, like, I randomly had one of my 2 Caracases to deal with the Uro. I think the Swords to Plowshares are important. Go Paladin Class out. And just board in 3 Swords to Plowshares. There's also a world where I just junk my Chrome Boxes. Oh, this is fucking sweet, though. Yeah, this is absolutely a keep. This is just a turn 1 cat. Yeah, ponder away. Keep a fetch land. Let my uncounterable cat cleric ruin you. I love it. Cast Chrome Box. Imprint Amaria's Call here. Cavern on cat. Uncounterable fetch land stopping cat. Oh. That's a set of lands that can just cast a Prismatic Ending. The fact that I have this Cavern on cat means that I can't 4-drop this turn, which is a little frustrating. I'll go ahead and attack in. I hope I don't get punished by, like, a random Snapcaster. Nope. What land am I playing? I think I'm just going to play Ancient Tomb here. I wish I drew my cat hero of Bladehold. Okay, that's a Ponder. It's a Ponder that probably can't shuffle, though, due to Leonin Arbiter. Yep. Okay, so I have temporarily stopped this. My opponent can fetch with it next turn, though. Sure. We're just going to go land. Attack with this cat. Opponent drops to 16. And I'm going to play out this hero of Bladehold. Ooh, which resolves? Ooh, okay. Opponent had the Source of Plowshares and also did not answer my Hero of Bladehold. And also kept cards off of Ponder. Just all in all, interesting set of interactions there. Not saying that my opponent is wrong, just interesting. Like, my opponent might have taken 2 more damage than they needed to. Kind of what I'm getting at. Sure, Teferi is fine. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. But I do not have quadruple white. So that means I only get to play one thing this turn. What is my one thing? Hero? Elspeth? Elspeth is open to Force of Negation, but that's probably not in my opponent's deck right now. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play Hero of Bladehold. Like, if I play Elspeth, I also just show a card that I haven't showed my opponent yet. Sure. Brainstorm away. You can set up a Terminus if you have one. Would be quite good. No Terminus. Yep. Play your land, plus your Teferi. Ooh, are we going to get a full 4 mana? Ooh, a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Sure. I mean, I will just continue to play Hero of Bladeholds forever. Man, this not being a true white source is really fucking me here. I think I need to just play the Skyclave. I can't let that Jace happen. This game is otherwise pretty close, minus that. I will not be pleased if my opponent ends up with a 4/4 illusion token, but I can just like play Elspeth next turn, plus on this, kill this Teferi, and then I am not like vulnerable to, say, an Endurance as a chump blocker. Sure. Okay, there's a land. Skyclave. Again, I can't double spell despite how much mana I have. It is a little disappointing. I want to take 2 damage to hold up Caracas. No. No, I don't think I do. Make this Skyclave big. That's a 5/5 that I will send at Teferi. And we'll see if it works. Alright, that is an instant speed expressive iteration, which is a little bit weird. Or an instant speed prismatic ending. That's particularly brutal, because it gets rid of my Skyclave, giving my opponent a 4/4, giving them something to attack my Elspeth. Yeah, I might just lose this one due to not having the ability to cast 2 spells in one turn. We'll see. Kind of depends on how much other stuff my opponent... What the fuck is this? Are you gonna Shark Typhoon? You could have just cycled that and savaged me that way. Then you gave me a chance to kill that. I mean, it's probably gonna work. If I had a disenchant effect, holy hell would I punish my opponent for that. Alright, so here's my Skyclave. Okay, they've got it all over there. I think this is the point where I basically have to concede. They have, like, Shark Typhoon plus 9 power on board. The Shark Typhoon play makes sense if they have Force of Will to back it up. Yeah, I think I just lost that one due to this not being a basic Plains. Like, I had so many good lines available to me that I just couldn't take. Now I know about Shark Typhoon, in addition to everything else. Still feel good about my decision to leave these in the sideboard. Do I want Paladin Class on the play? Kind of. I could junk the Solitudes. Solitudes are free interaction versus something like an Endurance, but I don't necessarily want to be pitching cards. I think I'm going to make that swap. It means if I do this, though, I have a couple less answers to Uro, which definitely matters. Although I guess if I get a double strikey attacker for 1 billion damage, that's a different sort of answer to Uro. This would leave me with 3, 6. No, I'm not comfortable. Well, yeah, it's like 8 versus 11 answers to Uro. I'd rather have 11. All right, maybe the Paladin Class stays in the sideboard. I could also board down on Chrome Moxen, but again, I think this deck is powerful when it does something stupid on turn 1 like this. This is absolutely a Force of Will check hand. If my opponent answers this Thalia with a Force of Will, they probably win the game, and if they don't, they probably lose the game. I really think this game is going to be that simple. Because I am going to get just an absolutely insane tempo burst from Thalia, making like fetch lands enter play tapped, making it so that like a simple Swords to Plowshares or Prismatic Ending isn't going to start mucking with my stuff, allowing me to play Hero of Bladehold. And if I have Thalia and Hero of Bladehold in play before my opponent takes any game actions, that's a trophy. Alright, so we start on Chrome Mox, as always. Skyclave goes under it. Play Ancient Tomb. Do you have Force of Will? Nope! That's real fucking good. My opponent's deck is such a greed pile that almost all of their lands are going to enter tapped, like so. And then this is going to fetch a land that enters tapped. Just disgusting. Oh, nice. I'm going to attack for 3. My opponent goes to 17. Now, do I just play the Hero of Bladehold, or do I play the Thalia? I think I choke my opponent here and play the Thalia. It just makes it so incredibly hard for my opponent to actually remove anything. Okay, I mean, that's fine. So then Force of Will was their draw for turn. I think I can pretty safely assume that. Oh, that's some shit. That, though, that's not bad for me. Just get to play Hero of Bladehold followed by Hero of Bladehold. What are you... Oh, you're just shortcutting and doing this now. Oh, wow. Are you gonna Swords to Plowshares when you just have Karakas available? And then you just have, like, white here? That is wild. I wonder if my opponent just, like, cost themselves the game by doing that. Like, they saved 3 life, but there's some real cost associated with what they just did. Yeah, sure, bounce my Hero of Bladehold. It's coming back. Here it is. Yeah, now you just get to jam Hero of Bladehold into Hero of Bladehold. I'm good with this. Alright, there is a tropical island. Well, that's a hell of a fucking draw. Alright. My Hero of Bladehold's back in play. My opponent gets a Jace minus again. I had such an amazing draw. And then my opponent, without any cantrips, found Karakas for my legendary creatures, Swords to Plowshares for a creature, into 2 planeswalkers. Ugh. Alright, this goes on human. As soon as I get to ever attack once, these planeswalkers are dead, but the fairy will minus once again this turn, and then give my opponent a turn of Jace Brainstorming. I'm still covered from an Uro, and I have legendary creatures, or not legendary creatures, I have human creatures that are uncounterable for days. Oh, wow. They opted to keep Teferi over Jace. Oh, sure. That's frustrating. Alright. Again, I'm going to run into issues where I have plenty of gas, but I can only deploy 1 card a turn. Sure. Alright. What do you have for me? Your series of draws have been absolutely insane. Alright, Brainstorm away. I'm pretty good at keeping my opponent from killing me, but like Jace Brainstorming every turn will bury me quickly. Alright, yep. What am I supposed to do against that? I had an absolute god draw, and it did not matter. Alright. And before my opponent just like draws a second Shark Typhoon, makes a 6/6, and I concede. Alright, there's a Brainstorm. My opponent doesn't even like have to find a removal spell for Hero Bladehold. They can just Teferi bounce. I also just like do not have answers to Shark Typhoon. Like that's not something that exists within the confines of this deck. If it has CMC of greater than 4, it's just safe from Skyclave Apparition. Alright, there's a fetch land. Yeah, okay, yep. I mean, I am in a soft lock at this point. I am close enough to a trophy that I am not going to concede, but if this was any round other than round 5, I would have conceded already. Yeah, I mean, you can have your Brainstorm. My card's uncounterable. Although they might just honestly cast a Force of Will to make a 5/5 Shark. Alright, my creature has resolved. Okay. Sure. That does not kill any of my stuff. That's rough. Just assume Jace minuses, bounces my hero, and my opponent starts crashing in. Cool. Visit Staticaster, by the way, deals 1 damage to target creature and each other creature with the same name as that creature, making my tokens from Hero of Bladehold irrelevant. I have answers to that, but I have other problems. That is a prismatic ending. White, blue, green. So it can't actually answer my Hero of Bladehold. You can use it to answer my Chromox. Yeah. Alright, I think I am ready to concede. I'm gonna take one draw. But like this is a lost game at this point. This deck does not have the resources to come back from this. But I find it absolutely insane that we lost this game after turn 1, Paladin Cathar into Haymakers for like the next 3 turns. Stable Voodoo, you stole my fucking trophy. You stole my trophy. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Quite good, honestly. I expected to play a medium quality deck that I was going to have fun with, but this deck actually has some chops. Like, Paladin Class is respectable. I'm not sure when I'm supposed to board it in versus out. That's a little uncertain to me as of, like, the number of games that I've played. I'd say one of the things that I don't like about it, though, is that there's a lot of double white pips when you have, like, Cavernous Souls that are very sporadic in terms of, like, creature types. So you have, like, human knights, you have human soldiers, you have cat clerics, you have core spirits, you have elemental incarnations, you have cat soldiers, and human knights. So, like, you don't have clear overlap where, like, oh, I name this one fringe type and I get most of the stuff in my deck. No, like, there's a smattering. So getting white the first time is usually reasonable, but it's when you want to deploy multiple cards, when you're on, like, 5 or 6 mana, that you just, like, can't frequently. And that's one thing I dislike about this. I don't know that I would cut any of the Cavernous Souls because they are quite good, but just food for thought for the future. I more or less like the cards that I have access to. We never played a Court of Grace in this league, but I didn't board them out in every round or anything, and I boarded in the extra copy that I had a couple of times. Yeah, if you have any thoughts about, like, how this deck list should be changed, let me know in the comments. I've kind of said a handful of things throughout, but I enjoyed playing this deck list a lot. Anyway, if you made it this far in this video, please throw me a like before you go, or maybe a subscription if you are new. And have a great rest of the day. If you want to try this one out, the deck list, as well as my donation information, is available in the video description. Have a great rest of the day. See ya!